Hello and welcome to unit number 2, Math 154. This is going to serve as a warm-up to review some important information for this unit from prior math courses. All right, so let's look here at problem number 1. Work with your group to find the pattern and use it to predict the next 3 numbers in the following sequence. Now you might be working by yourself, so if that's the case, you'll have to do all A through F. So go ahead right now, take a moment, complete A through F, finish the pattern, see if you can determine a rule. Pause the video clip. When you think you've completed it, go ahead and hit play again, and then we'll see how well you did. Okay, so welcome back. So let's see how well you did. So in letter A here, we had 2, 4, 6, 8, what? Yes, 10, 12, 14. And how did you get it? Well, you said you added 2 each time. All right, letter B, 2, 4, 8, almost the same as A, 2, 4, 8, 16. What did you get? 32, 64, 128. What did you do? Multiply by 2. Okay, letter C, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. What did you do again? Here you should have said add 2. Okay, letter D, you had 3, 6, 12, 24. What were your next 3 terms? 48, 96, 192. And your rule? Multiply by 2. Okay, how about letter E? 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, and 20. And your rule? Kind of tripped you up. You thought it was going to be add 2, but it's add 3 this time. Okay, letter F. 2, 6, 18, 54. And we should have some large numbers this time. 162, 486. 1,458. What did you do? Multiply by 3. Let's fix that 4 there, make that look a little bit more like a 9. Or so it doesn't look quite like a 9. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at part 2 here. So you should be able to group the 6 problems above into 2 groups where all the problems in a group have a similar rule. Write the letters for the 2 groups below and state what is similar about their rule. Go ahead and pause the video, examine the rules, and just write the letter below each group here for group 1 and 2 that you believe each problem falls into. When you're ready, hit play and we'll see how well you did. All right, so welcome back. So let's see what we have. In group 1, you should have A, C, and E. In group 2, you should have B, D, and F. So what did you notice about group number 1? Well, let's see. A, add 2, C, add 2, and E, add 3. So in group 1, a common theme here is we could just say repeated addition. In group 2, we can simplify that and say that a common theme here is repeated multiplication. Okay, let's look at part H here. Now that you have determined what is similar about the rules for the sequence in each group, discuss what might be different. The sequences within each group are not identical, so so how can you express what is different about them? For each set of 3 sequences, you should compare each sequence to both one of the other 2 sequences in the group in order to observe all differences we want to address. So A, C, and E, compare what's different about them. B, D, and F, compare what's different about them. Record your differences here below for group 1 and group 2. And we're not talking about differences between group 1 and 2, we're talking about differences within group 1 and 2. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and then we'll come back and take a look and see what you got. Okay, so in group 1, What's different in group one? Well, in group one thing that's different could be the starting value. Okay, so the starting value or the initial value. Okay, because if you look, group A starts in 2, B or letter C starts on 4, and letter E starts on 2. So group C had a different starting value. And the second difference here is adding a different number. Okay, the first two we added 2, but on letter E, we added 3. So adding a different number, let's say repeatedly, not repeated. All right, whoops. All right, let's fix that. Okay, group 2. Number 1 difference, same thing. Your starting value or your initial value is different, okay? B starts with 2, D starts with 3, and F started with the 2. Second thing is, very similar to the first group. This time, though, we're going to multiply by a different number repeatedly. Whoa, boy, did I spell that wrong. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. I don't know how we got so many extra letter in there. All right, there we go. Okay, so there we have it. All right, let's go to your second page here. So now let's look at a real world problem, one you should care very much about. If you were offered one of the 2 accounts shown below, which would you choose? Even more importantly, why would you choose it? In order to answer the question, continue the pattern for each account in the extra rows provided. All right, so right now, pause your video and examine account 1 and account 2 and see if you can complete the rows. When you finish, hit play and we'll see how well you did. So welcome back. So after 5 years, you should have seen that we have an account number 1. I'm going to do account 1 first, $1,300. After 6 years, $1,360. Now notice the jump here. We went from 6 to 8 years, so we had a 2-year increase. So we had $1,480. Note the jump again. We went from 8 to 10 years. Now I had $1,600. So what did you notice as the pattern? If you said add 60 each year, you are correct. Okay, so there we have that done. All right, so let's go ahead and look at account number 2. I don't know why I keep getting that line, but it's annoying. All right, so account number 2, what did you come up with there? That one's a little bit harder because you notice it doesn't go up by the same amount each time. So one way you can figure it out is look between the starting amount in year 1. You went up $50, okay? So you have $50 out of $1,000, okay? So if you do this on a calculator, you might notice that this is equal to 5%. So this is going to increase 5% per year. So you should remember from your unit number 1 notes. So if I wanted to go from year 4 to 5, I would take $1,215.51 plus 5% of that, $1,115.51, and that will get me my year 5 value. So now you may have a slight different answer here based on rounding. So what I would encourage you to do is when you get your answer here for year 5, you know, I'm going to round it here and say that it is $1,276.29, but don't round on your calculator. Just go on your calculator right now, take that answer and say plus 0.05 times the answer, and you'll get a little bit more accurate answers. So year 6 was 1,340.10 cents. And year 8 is 1,477.46 cents. And then finally, for year number 10 is $1,628.90. Now, you might be off here on the cents here. You could be, this could be maybe 35 cents, or you may have 78 cents here with rounding. Just depends how you round. That's why I suggest that you don't, that you use the numbers right on your calculator, don't round. So let's answer the big question here. Which account would you choose and why might you choose it? Well, let's see. I would think if I were less than 9 years, account 1, because at 8 years you have $1,480 in account 1. Account 2 has less than that. If I'm more than 9 years, I would think account number 2, because you've got more money at 10 years in account 2 than you do account 1. Okay, so in group number 1 here, let's see here, number 3, through the sequences in number 1 and number 2, we've observed 2 different kinds of growth. So to sum it up here, in group 1, from the sequences in number 1, in account number 1, from account 2, the values grow by repeated addition, which is what we kind of already talked about. And this is called a linear function. So in group 2, from the sequences in account 1 and account 2, the values grow by repeated multiplication. And this growth is called exponential. All right, so now we've got a little intro here to what you're going to be studying in unit number 2, and we'll be ready to dive into the material here shortly. Thanks for watching.